Hi, I'm Dr. John McCrae. I'm a nurse practitioner that practices in aesthetics in the Boise, Idaho market. I'm also the chief medical officer for Five Square Aesthetics. And I appreciate you looking into our organization as potentially helping you get you where you want to be in the role of aesthetics. In a nutshell, we have the tool sets to get you started as a nurse injector efficiently and cost effectively. What do I mean by that? It doesn't matter your skill level. You can be brand new in this industry, or you could be a nurse injector that's been at it for 20 years. In both circumstances, we have unique tool sets to help you get you where you want to be. So, what are those tool sets? Well, one of the tool sets that we give you is all the education you need to get started in your own aesthetic, either side hustle or business. So we'll have online modules. We'll even have hands-on training for you if you so desire to get you that skill set that you need to get you where you want to be. Another tool set that we have for you is finding you a medical director. From the time you sign up with us, we will already have a medical director assigned to you that you'll build a personal relationship with, and they'll get you all the order sets and make sure you comply within your scope of practice. Another tool set that we offer is access to a legal team to help you get protected in your side hustle. Our legal team will work with you to individualize an approach to your own business. They'll set up your LLCs and they'll give you the legal advice necessary to get going in this industry. So one of the biggest fears that I see with a nurse that steps out of their comfort zone, out of the hospital, out of the clinic into this realm is the fear of not being able to find clientele. We help you with that. We have a social media person that will help you design and structure your social media accounts. We also have a marketing team on staff to help you market to your immediate network and to help you build that network in your local community. Now, one of my favorite tools that we offer our nurses is access to bulk buying power and product discounts. What do I mean by that? From the day you start, you're going to be able to participate in bulk buying power, bringing your cost of products down and making you more competitive immediately when you start your business. The reason we can provide all these tools to you is because we offer it through a membership system. In our membership, all of the tools that I just talked to you about are included in your monthly membership fee. That drives our costs down, which we pass along to you. And you're not going to find that anywhere else in the industry. Another added benefit to your membership, all the profits you make in your side hustle are yours to keep. You're going to build something that you could put your name on that is your own. Now I'd like to introduce you to a community nurse member that has joined our organization, and I'd love you to hear her story on why she joined us and her experiences that she's had since joining our organization.
Hi, my name is Ashley. I'm a Five Square nurse, and I joined Five Square Aesthetics because I was just tired of the day-to-day grind, just doing the same thing in and out, and I really loved the draw of and the potential to be creative in nursing. Before becoming a nurse, I actually went to school the first time around and got a degree in fine arts because I love art, everything about it. So I spent about 5 years actually studying faces, ratios, beauty, proportions, lighting, how that play, you know what I mean? Contours, everything you can study as far as fine art goes. And then as soon as, my life kind of changed, I got divorced, kids came along, and I just kind of got looking at my life and I was like, oh, financially, I want to be in a better spot. I want to be able to offer my kids, all these opportunities. I want to have the flexibility with my time to be with them, to take them to all these opportunities that that I want for them. And so as soon as I got through with like nursing school and getting all of that done, I chatted with one of my friends who was a Five Square nurse, and everything just kind of clicked into place because I was like, I love the medical side of things. And then I love art. And this just was like the perfect melding of the two categories together because it's helping people, it's giving them confidence, it's increasing their health, and then it's making things beautiful, essentially, like making them pleasing. And I loved the two. It just clicked with my personality right away.
What kind of things drew you to Five Square Aesthetics?
I loved how everything was kind of set up for me. That maybe sounds a little bit lazy, but it's when you're a nurse and you're hustling, and maybe you're also a parent, maybe you're, whatever else you've got going on, it's so nice to just have everything in one spot from like medical director to training, ways to get supplies, a legal team, marketing help, social media help. It just, everything fell into place and it was just there for me to just easy to get started.
Perfect. How long have you been at it now? on your own?
This is about 3 months on my own.
Gotcha. And what have been some of the helpful things that you've done to get your practice up and running?
Really just like grassroots marketing, getting out and talking to people. I'm brand new in the community where I am working right now. Just moved there about when I started with Five Square actually, and getting out and just chatting with friends, with neighbors, community, church community. I've talked to a couple people that are like influencers, hair salon people, especially. They chat all the time. They've been really helpful. Really, it's just been getting my name out there because people want the services, right? Like they're looking for Botox. They're looking to feel confident. It's just a matter of them knowing that you're there, and you can't stop. You can't shut up about yourself.
Perfect. What for somebody that's hesitant to join, what would you tell them?
I would tell them you got to try it or you're gonna lose out. Like if you don't make the leap, if you don't give it a shot, you'll never know. Um, it's so liberating to just be able to work for yourself, to be your own boss, set your own schedule. A lot of people are just scared to make that first step because it's away from the safety zone. It's away from the guaranteed, but there's so much more enjoyment in what you're doing when you love it and it's creative and it's an outlet and it's just totally at your own discretion.
Perfect. What kind of money are you making now that you're doing aesthetics?
Um, well, it's slow. Like I'm just getting started. But I'm easily making, $300 in 15 minutes. Like I have a patient walk in, we get him in, we get him out. I do a full forehead of Botox and there was $300. Like that's what most of what a full day shift would get me at the hospital over where I'm at.
Tell us about the training. What were your experiences with the training?
The training was I felt streamlined. I think when you start anything new, it's a little bit of a fire hose, right? There's a ton of new information, stuff you're just not quite used to. But I really liked the didactic training that I did online. Like I was sitting in my bed doing it. And then just the ability to go back and review that. Just when I had questions, go through my own notes, rewatch the videos. It was really helpful, especially once the timeline between when I did the training and then came in to do hands-on training and then my first patients, that's a span. It was for me, it was a couple weeks. It's easy to forget, and so just being able to go back and review, it made that learning curve a lot easier.
What was the before you jumped into this? What was the biggest barrier to you hesitating to start an aesthetic practice?
I think for me, at least in my position, was I wasn't sure if I'd be able to get the clientele. And that's just because, I was so new to that area I just moved to. I didn't have friends, I didn't have a family connection, like ground support essentially in the community I just moved into. So for me, it was just kind of like, well, am I ever going to be able to get this off the ground because I have zero connections? And a big part of that was just like I had some friends that had, been involved with Five Square before that were just really encouraging. They're like, hey, go for it because you've got the eye, you've got that eye for proportions and beauty, and you've got the training as a nurse. So they just said, as long as you want it and you give it everything you've got, you're going to do great. And that was kind of just all I needed to hear, really, to be like, all right, this is what I want to do. So we'll take that leap. So aesthetics really reached out, like grabbed my attention as a nurse because I've got kids at home. Between my husband and I, we're a mixed family. We've got 5 kids and a dog. So it's like having 10 kids sometimes. And working even at 312s, like it's so demanding. Like I can't be there for dance practice, for flag football. It's hard to balance that. And my husband works full time. And so getting into aesthetics and having my own schedule, that flexibility as a mom to be able to say, okay, well, the kids are at school these hours, I can inject patients and make way more than I'm making at the hospital. Um, that just immediately I was like, I've got to do this. I've got to get into this because there's got to be a better way to be a nurse.
So I mentioned earlier that one of the tools in our toolkit that we offer our members is participation in discounts through a bulk buying power. We have a network of nurses, and because we're all buying as a group, product prices come down, specifically tox and fillers and biostimulators that we can get you. These discounts can then put a significant amount of money back into your pocket. So let's do a little example, and let's use tox as an example. Most injectable aesthetic practices are roughly 60 to 75% tox practices. That is your meat and potatoes of everyday life in an aesthetic practice. In my clinic, the average patient uses about 30 units of tox per treatment. So using those numbers, let's take one of the most popular brands in our program, which is Xeomin, and extrapolate that so you can understand what the cost savings would look like for you. If you were to go out and buy a 100-unit vial of Xeomin by yourself without bulk buying power, it would cost you roughly $512. In our program, we can get you a 100-unit vial for $386. That saves you $125 per vial, which is roughly $1.25 a unit. So now let's take this example back to our average tox patient. Remember, in my practice, the average tox patient does 30 units. And let's say we have 10 patients doing that average. So that would be roughly 300 units of tox. And at $1.25 per unit, that's going to save you $375 of savings for those 10 patients. Well, I really appreciate you watching this video, and I hope you learned a few things about what our program can offer you if you ever choose to get into aesthetics. Before we end, I just want to quickly tell you my story and how I got into this industry. When I was a nurse, I rose up the ladder in the corporate hospital model and was an administrator, and I hated every day of it. It was stressful. I hated putting all this effort into somebody else's business, and ultimately I wanted to do something on my own. So I went back to school. I got my NP, and as soon as I got out of school, I said, I'm going to start my own business. And I did that as a side hustle. I also did everything wrong. What did I do? I rented a space. I hired employees. I spent a lot of money I didn't need to, with 0 patients coming through the door. And that first year was a struggle. I lost tens of thousands of dollars. And I think my revenues that year were less than 10 grand. So I buckled down. Did I give up? No, I worked through it. Kept my day job, that paid the bills. And the second year in business, I started making some changes. I started marketing. And I did the old guerrilla marketing where I went and knocked on doors. So started marketing. I went from $10,000 of revenue to $58,000 of revenue my second year. The third year is when it really started to change. I decided to leave my day job and focus solely on my own business. And in that third year, I made $180,000 in revenue and started paying myself. The whole time I know nothing about business ownership. I'm figuring it out as I go. Fourth year, $400,000 of revenue. Fifth year, over $800,000 of revenue. Sixth year, over $1.2 million of revenue. That's how businesses grow. You gotta keep working it and you gotta keep going at it. Now, that might seem overwhelming to you. And if you're trying to climb a mountain like Mount Everest and you're at the bottom and you look at the top, you're like, there's no way I can get to the top. But you got to take baby steps to get there. And our program helps you get to that top of that mountain. We help you avoid all those pitfalls that I made. We mentor you through the whole business ownership process. We have professionals from all different walks of life to help mentor you. We have a community that's built to support you. You're going to have peers to ask questions to. You're going to have experts to ask questions to. We have everything you need to get you where you want to be. So if you think about this as being a risk, I want you to think, what is the risk of not doing this? Where are you going to be in 2 to 3 years if you don't do something like this? Is that where you want to be? Or do you want to take a risk in yourself and go a different pathway? So I just wanted to leave you with those comments. Thanks again. Reach out to us if you have any questions, and I hope to see you soon.